We are having an exhibit today, which is a collaboration between Los Fantasmas and a group out of Pittsburgh. Their title is the #NotWhite Art Collective, or #NotWhite Collective. Well, this exhibition is open. The theme was open. We didn't want to define it. So my artwork, I choose to portray scenery that I believe is beautiful in some way, but interesting in another, and that it has a message there. And so what I do is I draw the viewer in to take a look at it and to see what's happening and see what the message might be, to help inspire thought, dialogue, and conversations. My favorite technique? My favorite technique is my paintings evolve. So I do not draw them out very definitively. I have an idea and I allow them to evolve so that I feel that the message and the emotion that I'm trying to portray comes across. It gives me the freedom to move and adjust and to play and do interplay with the images that I'm using, the colors, the composition, all of that is allowed to move, and it's allowed to evolve into where it needs to be. Actually, there are so many messages. You know, one would be to look at the artwork in detail. You know, I'm one of the artists that loves to talk about my work, the meaning behind it, to have the viewer have an experience, you know, and hopefully create that dialogue, create that room for dialogue, create that space for dialogue. The technique I use is to capture something that I think is pretty amazing. You know, lately I've been doing a lot of skies and clouds because they're just totally amazing. And as much as I've tried, as many hours as I've spent, I still walk away thinking that there's more. There's always more. And when I see a sunset, this last one is based on a lightning storm, and try to capture lightning in a small frame is very difficult, but it's fun and it's inspiring. We have two coming up. We have a collaboration again with the #NotWhite Collective that is an exhibit at the Alto Gallery here in Denver. And then in January, we're moving on to a gallery in Pittsburgh. So part of what Fantasmas does is we collaborate. We create places and spaces for artists that are emerging, for other organizations in and outside of Denver, specifically organizations and people of color. We don't limit our collaborations to that, but we focus on that. We are really doing our best to increase the number of places there are in the local area, and hopefully others, for artists of color and people of color. We work with youth organizations, we work with men's healing circles. So I don't want to say we're much more than an art organization, but we consider ourselves to be kind of a hub, so that we have arms and spokes that are in a number of different disciplines. Well, we encourage people to come down and look at the art, and we are open to dialogue. We're very personable, we're very attainable, we are accessible, and we are part of the community. You know, the members have been in the community for many years, many generations, and we also have a newer, younger member who's in the Longmont area, who unfortunately couldn't be here today, but we are also increasing our membership and always looking for artists and people that have projects that they would like to possibly have us help them with. Now that we have this incredible space, we can do projects here, projects and programs.
I think it was maybe 2.5 years ago or 3 years ago. I was at the Pittsburgh International Airport where I work, and I was installing an art exhibit of a really great painter from Pittsburgh. Her name is Wavy Wednesday. And I noticed Carlos with his mohawk. I was like, who's that? And he started talking to the artists, and then we started having a great conversation. I told him about our collective, and he said he heard about us, which I thought was like, what? And then he told me about his collective, Los Fantasmas, and I was like, dude, we gotta do something, because we're having similar discussions about cultura, right? We're having similar discussions about our identities and how they fit in the American binary system, which is white and black, and let's be honest, it's anti-blackness and white supremacy, and everybody else in between, and where are our voices? How will we come together and bring people together in a sense of humanity to combat hate, right? And also to provide a vision for our youth, right? They need to see us. They need to see the work that we do. They need to see what we're talking about, what we're singing about, what we write about, right? And when you only see white artists, you think that is what you have to aspire to. So a lot of what we do in the collective, the hashtag Not White Collective, is working to decolonize ourselves and to kind of look at the art sector from a different lens, a lens that is not focused on, a lot of us have done the traditional art schools, not focused on the Western viewpoint of beauty and what is considered excellent art. Like even the way we approach deadlines and things like that, because we want to honor the fact that we are mothers, sisters, aunties. Life is part of our art, and not art is the only thing, and then life has to fit into the art. So we're working to create these new models, and we're okay with the messiness sometimes. We have been accused of being disorganized, but I'm like, well, how do you expect black and brown golden majority people to be when you keep disrupting our lives? We cannot have lives of organization when you keep disrupting our housing, you disrupt our health, you disrupt everything when we just want to live and be with our families and enjoy life and share what is in our hearts, right? So that's like some of the responses we have to, like, what do you mean? Like, you're talking about you want to honor BIPOC and a lot of people, but you don't know how we live. You don't know how we live. So we're telling you how we live. And we are redefining the parameters and the boundaries and the borders and the barriers. We're like, no. I think no is an important word to say. Before I talk about these pieces, part of, for me, what generated the idea to create the collective was to not be alone. It was to think of the art that we make in the context of our identity in a country that sees us as other, right? So how do we have our art have more impact in being transformative, right? So these pieces are part of an album project, 4 years in the making. It's called Naima. It's an acronym for Navigating Earth Manual. I have 4 themes, 10 songs per theme. The first album I released June 5th is called Chaos. The next album, Liberation, will be released tomorrow. Tomorrow's a special day for my mother and I. My mother's from Germany, and it's the day we arrived to America, right? So we celebrate this every year, the day that we arrived, and we're like, even as a baby, I was like, why are we here? But we're here, and I had an artist residency at the Greensburg, Museum of American Art. Boom Concepts, an organization based out of Pittsburgh, created an artist residency within an art museum. So I started drawing, doing scratchboard drawings per song, but I kept changing my mind about the songs. So I was like, I can't do this anymore. I had to stop the project. So I kind of stopped because some of these songs are not on the album anymore. So they have become their own work, in a sense. I've shifted to the idea of a comic book. So now it's going to be a graphic novel. I'm involving other comic book artists to create, because Naima has actually become this like earthling humanoid from outer space landing on Earth. and she's cleansing the water and the air and the land. And I think she says to the humans, like, this isn't about you. The conversation's over. If you happen to live while I'm fixing things, well, that's good. Y'all need to come down. Global majority, brothers and sisters, BIPOC, Alana, whatever you call yourself, LGBTQ, TIA+, trans, all of us. This show is two collectives coming together, collectively dreaming, because I think we know what the problems are already. How do we know the solutions? How do we create solutions together? And I think we know, as Black and brown people, dreaming can be very hard to do. We are so busy surviving. So this is an invitation to come and see what it looks like when two collectives come together and start dreaming forward what the world could be like if we are unhindered and not oppressed.
I'm inspired by so many things. I've been creating artwork for probably over 50 years. And I'm inspired by people I see on the street. I'm inspired by artwork in museums. I'm inspired by punk art posters. Inspiration comes from just living in life anywhere, really. Anywhere inspires me. Yeah, I think it'd be good if you all came to see this exhibit, because it's a collaboration between artists from Pittsburgh. It's primarily a women's group called #NotWhite, and our group, our collective of Los Fantasmas. So it's a collaboration between these two collectives from two different cities, and it's I think what we need to do more in the world is collaborate and appreciate each other's communities and artwork, and learn to work together more instead of being so separate, I guess.